through this whole story. This is the story of the lost son. We always refer to it as the prodigal son. But I love pointing this out in Luke 15. That parable begins with this phrase. It doesn't start off with a son or there were two sons. It says a certain man had two sons. The parable is about the father. Even though we've done, and I've done it myself, preached whole sermons about the prodigal son. The point of that parable is not the son that left. The point of that parable is not the son that stayed at home. The point of that parable is the father. It's amazing when you read the Bible what it actually says. Jesus starts off the story, a certain man had two sons. Oh, that gives you a clue. This is about the man who was willing to let his son go and discover for himself how good he really had it at home. It was about a man who had another son who was working real hard, even though he was a son. He's working like a slave or like a servant. So what was the point? The point was, here's a man who understands his children. Again, what's our point? God is committed. God's committed to us. He's committed at that level. And because of his commitment that he has made to us, because of what we see, the way Jesus demonstrated his commitment, then it's from this foundation that over these next couple of weeks we really want to continue to talk about what it really means as a husband and wife and as a family to be committed to the will of God, to be committed to this family unit, to be committed, to be willing to, if there's just one, if that one is my husband, if that one is my wife, whichever one of us, that I will sweep and find and search till I find them. That if one goes wandering off, just like the patience of that father, okay, you don't know what you're walking away from, but I'll let you go. I'll let you go. And then to tell the other one who's working, I'm just trying to please you. You don't have to work to try to please me. He told that boy that had stayed home because he was mad when his brother came back home. And the reason why he was mad was because he was going to lose some more of his inheritance. Because the way that they did that and did the inheritance in those days, when the father died, the older son is going to get 2/3. The younger son will get 1/3. So the younger son took his 1/3 and left. But when the younger son came back home, you have to understand, dad restored him back, gave him his ring, his coat and everything, which meant we're going to divide the 2/3 that's left over. When I die, I'm going to divide that up again, which means that essentially, I did the math. It meant that he essentially, when he divides the 2/3 that's left over into another 2/3 and 1/3, that actually the younger son would end up getting more than the older son. That's why the older boy was mad. He's like, you're going to take my inheritance and now divide it up with him again, which means that he will have gotten more than me when all of this is, when the dust settles. So older brother was not happy that younger brother came back home. Because you taking my money. You messing with my money now. But his father said, you ought to be glad that your brother's back home. He was lost and now he's found. Because, son, everything I've had, everything I have, it's always been yours. You sitting up waiting for me to die to enjoy. And you working real hard trying to increase the inheritance. It's already yours. So what's he teaching us about this man? He's saying, here's how we're going to have to be, just like the father's heart. Son, if you want to go off, one son, you want to go on off, okay, go ahead. I'm going to be here waiting for you. For the other son, it's always been yours. because he knows his boys. He knows his kids. So here's God speaking to us. Find that way. It's like that in our family between a husband and wife. I'm not going to try to hold on to you. I'm going to love you like the Father. And for the spouse with a situation, I'm just always trying to please you. You don't have to be trying to please me. Everything that we've got, it belongs to both of us. It's all of us. We're in this together. Wow. Isn't this great to see? Thank you, Lord. And it all starts with God's commitment to us. And when we see that, then we can make the connection of how to be committed to him. Thank you, Lord.